6:15 p.m. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news, edited by Lakshman Fonseca and read by Mario Vijayavardhana. The headlines. The Health Ministry warns that dengue is still on the rise, with the majority reported from the Western Province. The Colombo Municipal Council is to take stern measures to regulate street food vendors at the Golface Green. The Power and Energy Minister says dealers have not placed their orders to maintain their diesel stock requirements on time. The Sri Lanka Navy has found 51 sticks of commercial explosives in the RALA beach. The GCE O-level practical examinations for aesthetic subjects begin on the 2nd of August. The British military provides weapon training for Ukrainian soldiers. Dengue is still on the rise, with the majority of cases reported from the Western Province. The National Dengue Control Unit of the Ministry of Health says that 50% of the cases are reported from the Western Province. The Director of the National Dengue Control Unit, Dr. Nalin Aryaratna, says the highest number of dengue patients have been reported from the Colombo district. The second highest number has been reported from the Trikunamalaya district. Among them, there have been several deaths reported as well. Those with fever should seek medical help, and the health units advise patients to get ample rest. Those suspected of dengue are also advised not to take aspirin or ibuprofen, diclofenac sodium, mefenamic acid, and other non-steroidal anti-inflammatory. Control Unit advises all residents and business establishments to carry out regular cleaning of their surroundings to ensure that there are no breeding grounds for dengue mosquitoes. The health authorities also notified the public to ensure that discarded tires, empty containers, and other discarded utensils to water be destroyed or buried. The Colombo Municipal Council says it will take stern measures to regulate street food vendors at the Golface Green. The CMC's Chief Public Health Inspector Anur Abhiratna claims that the public has consistently complained them and that the condition of food and cleanliness and hygiene is not up to standard there. He said in the future only traders registered with the Colombo Municipal Council will be allowed to sell food in the vicinity of Golface Green. He added that cases were filed against 4 food stalls during raids carried out in the area. Meanwhile, a special awareness program will be held at the new Town Hall Auditorium in Colombo tomorrow, the 31st of July on Monday, for traders in the vicinity of the Golface Green, and mentions that certificates will also be issued to traders. The Power and Energy Minister Kanchana Wijesekara says the Ceylon Petroleum Corporation is informed that 101 fuel station dealers have not placed their orders to maintain their Lanka auto diesel stock requirements as of yesterday. He added for octane 92 petrol, 61 dealers had done the same. He said last month the CPC took over the management of several fuel stations that had not maintained the minimum stocks and begun local legal proceedings on several other dealers as well. The minister requests all fuel station dealers to maintain adequate stocks and place orders accordingly. The minister said the CPC has adequate stocks for delivery. He said the Ceylon Petroleum Storage Terminals Limited and the CPC plants have 124,690 metric tons of diesel and 5,651 metric tons of super diesel as of 8:30 a.m. today. Also, they have 19,903 metric tons of octane 92 and 4,537 metric tons of octane 95 petrol and 26,539 metric tons of jet fuel in stock, the minister added. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The Grand Adipuram festival that attracts thousands of devotees from across the island is being held in several places. The festival is conducted annually to take the blessings of the god Katharagama. It was held in a simple function with the presiding deities brought in a chariot in the city premises and reached the Prime Minister's office this afternoon. Delegations headed by the Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena received blessings from god Katharagama or Kathargame. The Speaker Mahindayapa Abeyardena, Minister Douglas Devananda and the State Minister Aravind Kumar, together with the opposition parliamentarian Vadivel Suresh, were also present at the function. The Grand Adipuram festival attracts thousands of devotees from across the island, and it is being held in several places, while the festival is conducted annually to take the blessing of the god Kathargama. The Department of Examinations has announced the dates for the practical tests of aesthetic subjects of the 2022 GCE Ordinary Level Examination. The Commissioner General of the Department of Examinations, Amit Jayasundara, says the practical exams for music, dancing and drama and theatre will be held from the 2nd of August to the 12th of August 2023. The listening test for Western music is scheduled to be held on the 6th of August, he added. The relevant practical tests will be carried out based on the evaluation methods used in the previous years. Admission cards for the exams have already been sent to the department. The applications are advised or rather the applicants are advised to contact 1911, the hotline of the examinations department, or the contact number 0112 784208, 0112 784537, or 0112 786616 for any further inquiries. Admission cards for the examinations have already been sent to the department added.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
The State Minister of Finance Ranjit Siyabalapitiya says the government has guaranteed a 9% interest for employees' provident fund members even if policy interest rates come down below 9% in the future. Speaking to media in Ruwanwala, the State Minister Siyabalapitiya said the Central Bank of Sri Lanka has already reduced the policy interest rates to 11% and it is likely to come down further in the future. The State Minister said, however, through the Domestic Debt Optimization Programme, the government has guaranteed a 9% return on EPF investments.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
And now in Watchlight, the government is to impose restrictions on the use of leased vehicles for state employees, including the limiting of 1 vehicle per officer as an effort to cut down expenses. It had been reported that officers were making use of 2 to 3 vehicles, with some using up to 6 vehicles and some vehicles being used by family members. The new restrictions will be applicable to defence service, government sources said. The government also plans to encourage public sector employees to use their own vehicles or find their own mode of transport by increasing the existing allowance. That came to you in Watchlight in World News Headlines. The British military provides weapon training for Ukrainian soldiers. Japan's Met Agency warns that the risk of developing heat stroke is extremely high. Supporters of the Bangladeshi opposition party demands Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina step down. The British military is teaching Ukrainian soldiers how to use self-propelled artillery and other weapons. Reporters were permitted to watch part of a session on Thursday in Wiltshire, southern England. 5 of the British Army's self-propelled guns, AS-90s, were used in the drill. The soldiers learned how to load and fire them. Reporters said the soldiers have been training for 7 weeks. The British military hopes the trainees will share their knowledge with other soldiers back home. It believes that it will improve Ukraine's combat capabilities. Britain has provided Ukraine with more than 30 AS-90s. If they are used effectively, that could serve to strengthen the artillery force operating collaboration with the tank units, and these forces have to be built up so that Russia's defensive lines can be pushed back. Japan's Met Agency warns that the risk of developing heat stroke is extremely high. They have issued heat stroke alerts for most parts of the country. A high of 37 degrees is forecast for Nagano Prefecture's Matsumoto City, Fukui City and central Tokyo. The intense heat is expected to continue through Friday. Environment Ministry officials say heat stroke-related deaths tend to surge when intense heat continues. The number of people suffering from heat stroke is rising. Some individuals have died. The officials are calling on the people to remain vigilant, use air conditioners and stay hydrated. They are also urging people to avoid going outdoors unless it is absolutely necessary. Bangladeshi police have fired rubber bullets and tear gas at stone-throwing opposition party supporters blocking major roads in the capital Dhaka to demand the Prime Minister's resignation. Supporters of the Bangladeshi Nationalist Party BNP on Saturday set fire to buses and exploded petrol bombs. They are demanding that Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina steps down and that the next election should be held under a neutral caretaker government. The party, in disarray since its leader Khalida Zia was jailed in 2018 on corruption charges, has held bigger protest rallies in recent months, including one on Friday, drawing tens of thousands of supporters amid anger about the cost of living. The BNP said dozens of its supporters were injured. Police said at least 20 officers were hurt in the clashes. At least 90 people were arrested, while 2 senior BNP leaders were taken to police custody and later freed, the police said. And now the main points of the World News segment once again. The British military provides weapon training for Ukrainian soldiers. Japan's Met Agency warns that the risk of developing heat stroke is extremely high. Supporters of the Bangladeshi opposition party demands Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina step down. That was World News.
Development News is brought to you by
Vacancies for women from Desha, Sri Lanka for housemaids in Kuwait, Oman and Saudi Arabia for ages 23 to 58 years. Contact number 037 7500 500.
Development News.
The Education Ministry will launch a mobile service to resolve issues in provincial schools this week. The Education Minister Susil Premajante said the move is to ensure the smooth functioning of provincial council-run schools in the absence of political administration. Minister Premajante and a team of officials led by the Minister's Secretary will take part in the mobile service program. The committee expects to cover all 9 provinces stepwise. The first of the programs started on Friday in the Uva province. Governors of the provinces will also be present. Teacher transfer issues will also be discussed at the mobile service program. The Education Minister added they would try to resolve all issues during the mobile service, and those that cannot be resolved will be brought to Colombo to be resolved.
Vacancies for women from Deshakti Lanka for housekeepers, home cooks, caretakers and home nurses in Kuwait, Oman, Saudi Arabia and Singapore for ages 23 to 57 years. Salaries starting from 156,000 rupees. Interviews with foreign agents are now on. Come whether you have a passport or not. Branches, Colombo, Kurunagala, Anuradhapura and Matara. Contact number 0377 500 500.
The fourth edition of the Lanka Premier League will get underway in Colombo today. The season opener will see defending champions Jaffna Kings taking on Colombo Strikers. The game is scheduled to get underway at the R. Premadasa Stadium in Colombo at 7:30 p.m. Sri Lanka Cricket announced that the gates will open for spectators from 3:30 p.m. this evening. The series will run till the 21st of August with matches being played at the R. Premadasa Stadium in Colombo and the Palikale Cricket Stadium in Kandy. A total of 5 franchise teams including Colombo Strikers, Dambulla Ora, Galle Titans, Jaffna Kings and B-Love Kandy, comprising local and international players, will take part in the tournament. Dilshan Madhushankar was the most expensive player to be bought in the auctions purchased by Jaffna for $92,000. New Zealand Chad Bowes was bought for $58,000 to become the most expensive overseas player in the 2023 LPL.
Go ekak thiyana youth eකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දැකපු ගීන හැබැ කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all-new NSB Ithru Mithru account, NSB IAM, a plan for your dream.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
The 2021 National Lotteries Board NLB audit report has revealed several instances of wasting and the misuse of funds. The report reveals that even though approval has been sought to spend a sum of 40 billion rupees on the construction of a new building and to obtain consultancy services, such a building too hasn't been constructed. It has been alleged the NLB had illegally acquired a building on a rent basis and had been paying 20 billion rupees from May 2020 to May 2022. However, the report confirms that this building is an illegal construction that had been built without proper approval. The cabinet ministers too had not been informed about the true background of this building. The board has further spent a sum of 20.7 million.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Go ekak thiyana youth eකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දැකපු ගීන හැබැ කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all-new NSB Ithru Mithru account, NSB IAM, a plan for your dream.
And now in economic news.
Sri Lanka plans to introduce new legislation aimed at modernising the postal department through a public-private partnership. The State Minister of Mass Media Shanta Bandara said the postal service will not be privatised and the new Postal Act will replace Sri Lanka's postal ordinance that dates back to the British colonial period. The State Minister said that in 2022 the postal service's revenue was 7,000 million rupees while expenditure was 14,000 million rupees. A joint public-private ownership of the postal department will be implemented in order to reform the postal service into a modern and profitable venture, the State Minister added.
Weather report.
The Met Department predicts several spells of showers in the western and suburban provinces and in the Mahanuvara, Nuwara Eliya, Galle and Matara districts. The Met Department added that showers or thundershowers may occur at a few places in the Ampara and Batticaloa districts during the evening or night. Mainly fair weather will prevail elsewhere over the island. Meanwhile, fairly strong winds of about 40 kilometers per hour can be expected at times on the western slopes of the Central Hills and north and north-central provinces and the Hambantota and Trikunnamale districts. That was the report, and now the headlines of this news broadcast once again. The Health Ministry warns that dengue is still on the rise, with the majority reported from the Western Province. The Colombo Municipal Council is to take stern measures to regulate street food vendors at the Coalface Green. The Power and Energy Minister says dealers have not placed their orders to maintain their diesel stock requirements on time. The Sri Lanka Navy has found 51 sticks of commercial explosives in the Arale beach. The GCEO level practical exams for aesthetic subjects begin on the 2nd of August. The British military provides weapon training for Ukrainian soldiers. That concludes this news broadcast. You're with Radio Sri Lanka.